And so I thought I would read a little bit from S.F. Splain, read different things than I read last time, because as I was saying to Rich, I've had this weird experience the last couple of times I've read where people have asked me, yeah, I was thinking about coming to your reading, so are you going to read something different, something new? I was like, oh. No, I'm going to read the exact same thing I read last time. So I'll read different stuff. That's explained. July 6th. They were led down the aisles of books with their hands held behind their backs, like prisoners in handcuffs, until they reached the road they were looking for and were set free. July 9th. I notice it again as we're all forced to transfer onto a new bus. That urge everyone has to sit in the exact same seat on the new bus, which I'm unable to do because somebody's already sitting in mine. Everyone looking around at first to check their relative positions. August 1. You Yanks are so resourceful. You can always get your money back, like those bloodhounds. You can go back to a place you spent it 4 days ago and pick up its trail from a dream. August 6. You are on the list. Am I, Mom? I'm being good. August 11th. On the elevator at the library, you don't take surreptitious glances at people's faces trying to read them. You read the spines of their books. August 19th. Woman carrying a plastic bag bundled in her arms in such a way as to make it obvious that she never had a baby. She nearly drops it, or the stuff inside nearly squeezes out the top if she's not paying attention. At first I decide not to say anything to her because she's a wraith. But then seeing her smooth-skinned prettiness, I think she's a normal person going home. So I say, that's right. You nearly lost it there. And immediately by her gravelly groan in response, I understand that she is, in fact, a wraith. Hey, she says, you interested in some tools? October 13th. I leap down the steps onto the platform, thrust my hands between the closing doors, squeeze them open, and push myself into the subway car. A couple of people who've been watching this whole thing laugh at me. Go ahead and laugh, I think. At least I got on. Only later, when I start to stand to get off the train, do I notice the black streak on my shirt and on my hands from the filthy rubber lining on the doors. December 3. She left her umbrella hooked on the counter at the post office, but no one was able to say a word to stop her. December 11th. On 17th and Shotwell, a woman backed her beat-up Honda into a spot, parked, turned, and looked frankly into my face as she sang in a screechy voice, "You want it, you got it, you want it." That's all. All that's true. This is a new series I'm working on that I think is the poetic counterpart to the prose things I've been posting on my blog, which I'm calling the White Album. So, here's a few of these. What would you do right now if I held a gun to your head? He looked at her, dipped his head back in his book. A flurry of voices, footsteps, proximity of bodies, hair. Somebody took a picture in an adjacent room. 3 runs across the plate. Let me see that belly now. Show me the belly. Dogs the way back into words. A loose thickening, chilly green air, a feeling in further and further folds. Meow. Did you not get the text? I crested this hill, I did, this body. Let's stand here and sniff one another, a slow fuse moving, separate as fuck. Excuse me. I stick my hand inside you and turn. Only so much of you is getting through. Can't help but work within words, the tongue, a big bus, making 2 tight turns, a line that will later be cut. Earlier it had been raining. Who will watch as I pee? The room emerged from her body, more precisely, a whine at the back of her throat. I forced flavors of myself in. Eventually, others signed the petition. My voice enclosed it all. Dog hunched, everything wagging. I want you to take this and hold it. This is me giving up. I'll never give up. Everything doesn't want me to. Everybody. I'm talking, of course, about me. Don't feel good because you think you know this word. Don't do this because you feel good. I'm worse than a disaster film with a $200 million budget. I swear, you'll see what I mean. A nameless swaying urge, a burp, a little squeak. Like turning on the toaster and microwave all at once. The multitudes. Each of them had been gesture and glance for another, had been as earth or mother, had rested a hand on the back of a blank page, been the occasion of a dog growling inside a dark house, had been as rain, footsteps, murmur on wet lips, had made another move, if only an inch. The multitudes. One body leaves, another body returns, which is to say, leave-taking. I have taken leave of you, but then how do you do it? Do you shamble off dog-like, or wake up one morning and simply say, or do you refuse to leave? And whose body relieves you? To stand naked? No, but shaken and oddly having to burp. From the gates. You for whom the day was sad, think on the damned, how hell might be dispensed with in a few lines. The marvelous patterns of Garyon scales, footprints here and there of those who've snuck in. How it might be obsolete. Turn down the noise, applause, traffic, cello, shadow of goddess flicking across the screen. How Actaeon saw Diana in the spring. Spikes of new smell driven up nostrils, mustard and maple syrup, honeysuckle and dog shit mingled in springtime's amazing light long after dark. World lurched forward, wake up and take off shirt, and voice of announcer. Yes, man, I hear you. I know what to say. Come to find out I'm married. Dive into folds of my own empty belly to give back my desire, like the broken animals. Thanks.
Were those new poems?
Yeah, they were new, different.
Different. Very cool.
I didn't know last time.